I'm
Ooh.
recording because if we have anything funny, then we can just slip it into the episode.
Well, I want something slipped inside of me that's not very funny. You know what I'm talking about, Lance?
I mean, I do.
You know what is? I just heard about this. I don't know why it was advertised to me because I'm very virginal, but there's like this app like where you can just listen to like erotic stories being told like an audiobook. But the app is specifically for erotic stories.
So
and
you're saying
like
a voice like this and just say a lot of little sexy things?
Maybe if it was like a Disney erotic fan fiction, but
which is probably possible.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, well, you watched it. Did everybody watch it, by the way? Because
I haven't seen it. I'm just kidding. It was my idea.
I had to watch 1 and 2 because I've never seen it before. So it was like, well, I feel weird to see 2, but I haven't seen 1.
Honestly, you could.
After seeing it.
Yeah.
You definitely could have.
I don't recommend it because I think 1 is a good movie on its own. I think Ade reviewed it earlier before I was even on the show with other co-hosts. But
yeah, Ade, what'd you think of it?
I don't know who they are.
Well, let's start the episode before we get into the... Power keeps going out at the post office by my school.
Yeah, because you keep using your flower power thing.
Oh, yeah. That's probably it. You know, I follow that page, and then today they were talking about, like, let me just pull it up right now before we start the episode. So, that little flower thing.
To get the name right.
Oh, the manufacturer?
It is a, no, it's got a specific name. I will not let you
Novelty item.
I will not let you. It's called.
Hey, I shove a bunch of shit up my ass. It's not even if it's not a so you're fine, girl.
It's a water bong, not a water pipe.
Yeah, have you ever gotten high from a reverse fart?
I am not happy. This is exactly why I don't like it when Mikey likes people, because now everybody's gonna gang up on me.
No.
Oh.
Yeah,
fine, Lance. I'm just kidding.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I thought you were being serious. Oh my goodness. All right. It's called Love Honey. And I don't know what the little flower thing is called.
Sounds messy.
A specific name.
Yeah, it does. Sticky.
Well, no, I don't know if it's sticky. But yeah, I'll be scrolling through my Instagram and they have these little advertisements, and this one's called Anal 101. And it tells you what to do.
Oh.
How silly.
And it's got little pictures.
Oh, perfect.
Do show.
It's a choose your own adventure.
Yeah, I'm just going to share. I'm sharing it to our little chat that Mikey created today. Why not?
Hooray.
Hooray. So you guys can suffer with me. Anyways, but it's like inconvenient because like I'll be on my phone scrolling on Instagram as I do, and I'll be standing in line at Starbucks, and all of a sudden these sex toy advertisements pop up, and I know people behind me can see my phone.
Hey, if they're looking at your phone, not minding their business, that's not your problem.
Yeah, it sounds like an issue for them.
Yeah. This is why I don't mind watching porn on the airplane. I'm just kidding. That was literally Trixie Mattel mentioned that on her podcast the other day. She was joking, but I was like, I thought it was hilarious.
Oh, Trixie.
You're like, yeah, I totally agree. And then just, that's why I watch porn on the airplane. You're like, well, that's a little different.
Love her. Oh my God. She makes my day every time I watch a video, her and Katya. Okay. I guess, so are we ready? Are we ready, ladies?
Yes.
Ready, Freddy? Okay,
yes.
Cool. Yes. Okay. All right. So this is Slashers, your new favorite podcast about your new favorite horror media or your present or current favorite horror media, as my boo-boo Mikey would like to say. My name is Ade, and today, what do we call it, Mikey? Our punk something?
Oh, just us punk rock vixens.
Just us punk rock vixens today here on Slashers Podcast. I have my boo-boo Mikey. And our special guest today, because Mikey's been sliding into his DMs all wet like Lance.
Always welcome to my DMs, Mikey.
Yeah.
You guys would be so cute together.
Ade's gonna write fan fiction about us.
Oh, I should. How funny. I'll get it published.
Yeah, and then make Lance read a chapter on air, like that one time. Who was it? We did a challenge, our most famous challenge, when I challenged you to write a sex scene for a shark movie that didn't have a sex scene.
Oh, yes. Oh my God. Everybody was all hot and bothered by that too. I deleted those files, so I don't have the paper copy of that anymore.
There you go. It's public domain, y'all.
We'll have to go back to the podcast so we can hear, because I think Jake was the woman.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was the Southern gentleman.
Oh, Lance, I have to send you that episode. That was the funniest shit.
I was like, Mikey is a Southern gentleman. I could only imagine.
Those were very good episodes because they let me exercise my creativity as a writer, and I got to write things, and that was a lot of fun. So I don't know. Anyways,
it was fun.
Now I just get to copy Wikipedia for our notes. Yay.
Copy and paste.
Well, okay, so today would be our second episode of Dog Days, or
third,
right? Our third.
Yeah, because we did Breed Me, and then we did American Werewolf in Paris, and now this is
our third episode. That's
the
true.
Wrath of Becky.
The Wraith of Rebecca.
Okay, yeah. So we're our third episode of Dog Days of Summer here on Slashers Podcast, and today we decided to do the Wrath of Becky. So for those of you who've seen part 1, Becky, we actually did that a few years ago for our Femme Fatale month. So if you'd like to, travel back in time for that episode, Jake, Adam, and I reviewed it because Adam thought it was like the Academy Award winning horror film of the year.
It is.
Sure.
I would just like to pat myself on the back in this selection because Dog Days of Summer, a horror themed month about horror movies involving dogs, you wouldn't think, but it's true. So good job, me. You are so great. You think outside the box. You're like the mother we've never had. You're the sister everybody deserves. Thank you, Lance. I don't remember the rest of the Oprah Winfrey quote.
Oh my God. You know what? And Lance needs to stop placating you, because at this point, I get that there's like a whole like theme with horror and dogs and whatnot, but like most of the time in horror, the dog dies, right? And
not this time.
Obviously not this time.
Spoiler alert.
But one of the dogs does die in part 1. Spoiler alert. So that's why I was really like not looking forward to watching this one.
I love how you both do that spoiler alert. Like after you say it, it's like kind of like it's too late now.
It's like, your fault. if you get this far, it's your fault.
It's like Talladega Nights. He's like, like he's like, you basically tell him, just gotta say, it's like he destroys somebody. Okay, that's great.
Well, okay. This is so. Anyways, this one came out this year, and actually, I think it's pretty relevant. I'm glad that we did it because part 1 is directed by the directors Carrie and John. They follow us on Instagram, the Slashers page, and they like a lot of our stuff. I don't know if they listen to us, but thank you guys so much for your support. Unfortunately, they were actually executive producers for the second one. They were part of there's a lot of producers for this one, but they did not come back to direct it, which saddens me. However, I feel like both of them are completely different movies. Yeah. So just to
100%.
Recap everybody with Becky. Becky is about a young 13. Is she 13? She's 14.
16. Oh, you mean in the younger one?
In the first one.
First one.
Oh yeah.
Don't get ahead of me, sir. I'm speaking.
My goodness, he's just ready to just pound himself in there.
Excuse me, Mr. Vice President. I'm speaking. So oh my God, I'm such a bad. Anyways, so she's like 13, 14 years old, and basically her house gets invaded. She has a home invasion by Kevin James and his Nazi group, right? Who come in, they're looking for some tea. And
lines you never thought you'd ever hear in the same
I know.
sentence.
I was like, it doesn't sound frightening, but he does a good job.
And that's where we beg to differ, because I talked a lot about in the first one. I didn't think Kevin James was the best choice for this. I know that Simon Pegg was initially supposed to be the villain in part 1. And
Which would have made me laugh even more, to be honest with you.
he's good. He's in that one movie, and I always forget the name of it. It's not that
Shaun of the
great of a
Dead.
movie, but he's amazing. Yes,
Oh.
I know Shaun of the Dead. You
Well,
poop.
I don't
I'm
know.
talking about he's actually the villain. And he's a crazy ass. Like you don't even know it's him until you start looking. Like, oh my god, Simon Pegg. It's the one with Lily
Tomlin.
James. Phil Collins' daughter is in it, and Patrick Warburton. What is the name of that goddamn movie? It's on Netflix. Hold
Yoga
on.
Hosers.
Yes. No, that's Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith? That's great.
Warburton and Lily James.
You know, the
And
funny thing about that is he was supposed to be the character in The Boys. He
Well,
was
now
supposed to
he's
be
the dad.
Yeah, but he looks like a skinhead in the in the comic book.
Yeah.
So I guess it would make sense technically if he was the skinhead in this.
Who? Kevin James?
No.
No. Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg. Okay. So the movie I'm talking about is Inheritance. So if you guys haven't seen it, it's based on a book. I mean, I assume it's based on a book. It feels like it's a book, but Simon Pegg is in it, and he's an absolute fucking like nutbag in that movie, and he's so good at it. He's like the only good part of the film. Like he's like a rapist, murderer type. Like, I mean, he's just a fucking nutbag. Anyway, and he's like locked in the basement. And so like Patrick Warburton locks him in the basement for like 25 years, and then he dies, and like Lily James has to like deal with this guy, right? So it's like a whole thing. Yeah, she's like finding out the family secrets. Oh, it's a lot of chisme. I feel like it could have been a better movie, but it's fine. It's good. Anyways, so moving on away from Inheritance.
Well, that's a different kind of dog.
But The Wrath of Becky, I think so. I feel like there's like an underlying theme with these films that we're going to cast a comedic actor to play a villainous role in these films. Would you disagree?
I didn't think about that until now, only because, well, because you have Joel McHale also in the first one, who's also a comedian, but there's no comedy in it. They're playing serious roles. Sean William Scott is the villain in this one.
Yeah,
and
I liked him in this too.
I did too. He was very attractive and breedable, but Sean William Scott, friend of the show, if you're listening, I apologize. He hasn't done much in a very long time that I forgot he was a comedian.
I mean, the last thing I saw him in was Goon, the hockey series.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he's necessarily a comedian, but I think
that's what we know him for.
Yeah, he's typecast. I mean,
yeah.
There was, I remember back in the day, because I thought he was so cute. And I think I read this in Cosmo or some interview with him. Like, this is how old this was. Because I just loved Stifler, you know, because who doesn't love a toxic, sexualized man?
Guilty.
I know, right?
I was like,
It was the early 2000s. It was the thing. So I was reading a whole interview with him, and he was just, disappointed because I think after he did Dude, Where's My Car? Like he always wanted, he wanted to be a serious actor. And then after that, he was just completely typecast. And then obviously American Pie, Stifler, and going on from there. Like, I don't even know. I know he's been in other things, but the only other thing I could think of where he's sort of serious, but still not, is Role Models. And
even then though, really.
Yeah, not really. Yeah. I mean, and the thing is he's still very attractive. Like he aged very well. So good for you. Friend of the show, Sean.
He looks great.
Yeah. DM me your skin routine, please. Cause but and I also, I don't know why I think about that stupid martial arts movie he was in, Something Monkey.
Oh, you're talking about Bulletproof.
Oh, Bulletproof.
Yeah, he was in the second Bulletproof, I think.
Oh no, Bulletproof Monk.
There you go.
Yeah.
The two of you don't even know your movies. You just know parts of the titles over here.
1 + 1 eventually equals 2 on this podcast. So
sad.
Okay, that's fine. But
takes a village.
Yeah.
Clearly. However, I remember I saw the movie in theaters because I could give fuck all about like martial arts or anything like that. And the only reason I saw that movie was because of Sean William Scott. I'm not gonna lie.
Same.
What do you mean? I don't fancy you as somebody who looks like a martial whatever person.
I mean, they're usually pretty fit, so I mean, technically,
he is so hot. I'm looking at currently.
Yeah, I can just see Mikey's face. He just turned to the side and his yes.
Well, because like I'm looking at his movie resume now, and like he plays a preacher in one episode or in one TV show called Welcome to Flatch, whatever that is. But he's got it going on.
I think the last thing he did, honestly, was that the Lethal Weapon TV series, because he took over for the guy who was on there initially.
Mel Gibson.
Then he went on to Mel Gibson, but he finished it off, I guess, But he seemed to do a good job. Just I think most people were kind of upset the other guy wasn't there anymore.
All right. Okay, everyone pretend like you care.
Nah.
Oh, that's actually a cute picture.
Thanks.
Well,
all right. I know. I mean, I make it amazing. You guys are just there, but
you're covered up by a phone. I'm just saying.
Another one. I'm taking another one.
I can't do the same pose again.
I know. It's like.
Okay, one more. 1, 2, 3. Both of you are hoes. I just want to say that right now. Okay.
Yeah, both your eyebrows are hoes right now too. So
they are sisters. They are not twins. Okay.
We can tell that you overplugged one of them, but I'm just gonna.
We've gone rogue, folks. We've gone rogue.
Sorry. Sean William Scott.
Sean William Scott, friend of the podcast. Please come save me.
You're tearing us apart, Sean William Scott.
Anyway, oh my God, I hate you both. Anyways, so I mean, he was amazing in this. He did such a fantastic job. And there was a little bit of an underlying, I think, not comedic element to it, but like a funny kind of like, there was just something about it where you looked at him, he looked so innocent. Like, how could someone like this like hurt me? But then when his face would change.
Yeah.
And
he reminded me of like when Doug and Yahira forced me to go to the Museum of Death and we learned about cult leaders. Because he's very much like opening and welcome, but you can tell like, no, he can do something. And also
there's always a hidden agenda or something like kind of going on.
Yeah. And I would keep going, but it would probably ruin it. So we'll let Ade go ahead and get this train back on the tracks before I
all right,
let this train rail me again.
I'm almost done posting. Let me just make sure.
I don't know.
But also, while Ade does that, we'll still thirst. The Burnett guy was also really hot. Like the really mean one. He was really hot too, right, Lance?
Oh, the one that kept calling her a cunt and a stupid fucking bitch and this, that, and the third.
Maybe that's why I was so into him.
Every guy I've ever dated in my early 20s. Yay.
I was like, which one? I'm like, oh, that one.
I was like, okay, he's cute, but every time he opens his mouth, he needs to shut the fuck up. Because I would have she threw that coffee in his lap. I would have fucking broken over his goddamn face.
There's that moment where I wanted to say how he died, and I was gonna go say how he died, and then I was gonna do what you two do and go spoiler.
Yeah.
Oh, he died so well. Like I think what a great like juxtaposition, as Jake would say. May he rest in peace. Just kidding. He's still with us.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Jake's B-Day is coming up, everybody. Happy birthday, Jake.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Oh, Mikey, I can show you what I got him in a little bit.
Okay.
Not now, obviously, because it'll spoil the surprise. Not that he still listens, but anyway. So, but what a great juxtaposition with how awful. I don't know if we can use that word for it. He, as awful as he is, the way that he dies is like the perfect way to get him, right? Yeah. Because he doesn't shut the fuck up, and what gets him in trouble is his fucking tongue, right? Because she's got the thing attached to his mouth.
The grenade.
The grenade, yeah, the thing. Yeah, the grenade attached to his mouth, right? And there's nothing he can do. And it sort of reminded me of I Saw the Devil when we watched that, remember? Because the same thing, like he couldn't speak. And then when they finally opened the door, boom, he's beheaded.
Yeah, but at least Sean William Scott could see his face.
Yeah.
Like, and the guy's literally doing this like,
no,
shaking his head back and forth, like, don't open the door, dude.
I
I was just
know.
surprised that he was the first to die, because they kind of set you up to be where he's gonna be like the one that you want to see die the most because he is so terrible.
Yeah.
But no,
Well,
he
because
gets
he
it
kills
first.
the one person.
Oh
The actual
yeah,
lady.
the lady
Spoiler.
taking care of Becky. So
Oh yeah.
before we traipse down this
Okay,
path,
yeah. So let's talk a little bit about this one really quick. Did you want to add anything, Mikey, before we get into our statistics?
no, I was just trying to get Lance under control. He's a
I
wild
know.
beast. Just gotta lasso that.
Mr. Suicidal Maximum Overdrive over here. The walking billboard tonight.
Yeah, he is.
Okay. So the tagline of the film is Hell Hath No Fury Like a 16-year-old Scorn. So this actually takes place a few years after we see Becky in part one. And if you've seen part one of Becky, I hope all of you watch this before you watch The Wrath of Becky, simply because while you can watch The Wrath of Becky without watching Becky, and you can because there's a lot of flashbacks, Becky's behavior in particular in part one, how she shoots the guy in the head at the end, basically, yeah, it lays out the framework, the fact that this girl is completely unhinged at this point, and she's just capable of anything. So if you don't see Becky, that I would just recommend watching the end and watching her do that at that point, because now we know what she's capable of. Because if you just go into watching The Wrath of Becky, you're like, how does this fucking bitch know how to do any of these things, right? Like, no, she's been doing these things since she was very young, and she is very callous. She's very purposeful in who she chooses to let in her life, and she will screw people over left and right, doesn't matter. As case in point, in the beginning of The Wrath of Becky, a very nice foster family invites her into her home, and she basically just she plays the role until she can get the fuck out. And then she's hitchhiking, she's stealing from diners, she's stealing from pet shops, she's getting arrested, and all the while she's able to keep Diego, this adorable little bull mastiff. And he's very big. But my issue with that is that, like, I would have stayed with the crazy Mormon people at the beginning just so that Diego could have a good life, because how the fuck are you going to take care of Diego? And I don't really think she does a very good job of taking care of him, because eventually Diego gets stolen. So Becky, get your shit together, is all I can say. But
you're being a little harsh.
I am, but I would never put Stella in that situation.
Well, you're not in that situation, because there's also that moral dilemma of, should homeless people have dogs? I've seen YouTube videos of people stealing homeless people's dogs because they're like, you can't feed it, you can't take it to the bed. If it needs to go to the bed, we're taking it. And it's conflicting. I can kind of see both sides. I don't think stealing a dog is ever right from its owner. But it makes you think, because sometimes I feel like some people in my state or my city hold up these dogs as like a pity, like, oh, give me money because I have this dog. Because it's like, why? Like,
oh, that's the same thing downtown. Like, people who have animals, they know, like, I will give you money if you do have an animal.
Yeah.
There was a lady with a cat one time in front of the DGX, and we went in, bought her food, cat food, all the stuff for the cat, stuff for her, and just gave it to her, because I'm like, I can't just let this woman have this cat and nothing to provide for it, right?
Yeah.
So, and then I have people who will argue and say that homeless people take better care of the pets than they do themselves. But I also think that part of it is that they're lonely, right?
Don't they have though? They have I think they have like things for homeless animals for people out there. Yeah, like I think they do try to do that, because I think other people do notice it. Because I mean, at the same time, you're looking at people who have mental instability where they may need that pet as a security, like most any other person who had like military or anything like that background. I mean, a lot of those guys are those people, so it's kind of, it'd be nice to be able to have that for them. But I get it, because you kind of hope the best for the puppy or dog or cat or whatever.
Well, the last time I gave a guy money in the street, he had a beautiful husky, and the guy looked like he was 25, and he wasn't unattractive either. And I'm like, why? And I judged him. And I was like, you're too young to be sitting out here with your pretty dog, but I'm going to give you money anyways. because I need to get across the street.
Yeah. What makes me feel better is like, okay, obviously the number one thing for people and dogs, you need to eat and drink. Dogs can eat a lot more than people cannot eat. Like,
Yeah.
if there's a trash can, there's a half-eaten hamburger in there, dog can eat it no problem. Human might get sick. Which is why I'm like, okay, like the dog can probably find some stuff to eat, but also it's like, ugh, you know, they give me a hard time for not taking my dog to the vet because she had a rash on her tummy. So what happens if this homeless person's dog has a rash on their stomach? So I get it. But
yeah, well, neither here nor there. I'm not saying that Becky couldn't provide. I mean, she does figure out how to provide, but she still can't figure out how to protect.
Yeah, because she ultimately, and the reason why I was like, you're being harsh, is because she did find a housing situation that fit her lifestyle, which is with the woman she meets. What was the woman's name?
When she meets, okay. So eventually Becky does find a consistent home. And she is Elena, played by Denise Burse. And so she does find, you know, a place to, but, you know, unbeknownst to this woman, she thinks that Becky's like 18 and she's renting a room from her. And what a beautiful house she had, by the way. Oh my goodness. And, you know, which is not a big deal. Like, I mean, obviously Becky has to lie about it, but, you know, to let this child in, she obviously took her in because she knows that Becky has probably got something going on. She's got this big ass dog. Like, who the hell's going to let you move into their, you know, rented space with a 100-pound mastiff? Yeah. And so that was sad. I think there's something about this one that shares with part one, that there's a bit of an underlying mean-spiritedness with it to involve a child and have that underlying mean-spirited tone.
Well, that and she's also making like booby traps on your backyard, like giant holes.
Okay, that's not even what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, you know, part one, Joe McHale plays her father, and he's murdered. He's shot and he dies in front of her, right? And then, and I thought at least, okay, maybe he'll come alive later. Maybe he just fell asleep and they'll just let him live, because she already lost her mother. She already has a chip on her shoulder. Her mother's dead. She hates the stepmother. And her stepbrother, the people going to be in her life. And then her father is murdered. And then her dog is fucking murdered. So they have two mastiffs, Diego and Dora. And poor Dora gets shot. I know. And I was so mad because I knew when I saw the dogs, which is why I was pissed at Adam for even suggesting the movie in the first place, because the minute I saw both of the dogs, I'm like, the fucking dogs are going to die. Like, I'm so fucking pissed. So, and one of them does die.
Did you say Glacioso?
Oh, shut up.
And that's very, it's very, Hills Have Eyes, Beauty and Beast. Beauty died, but Beast didn't.
Beauty dies. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So, you know, if you are a female dog in horror movies, sorry about it. But it is kind of mean-spirited, but also, you know, we watch these movies where it's like someone goes on a revenge spree for something that's like, yeah, it's fucked up, but like most people would just kind of like take on that trauma. But like what she went through is literally to the point where like you have nothing afterwards. Yeah. So that's why she's like, let's fuck people up.
Yeah. And let's talk about that revenge aspect really quick, because I really wanted to touch on that theme, because, you know, with Becky being the heroine here, or the protagonist, I guess you could say, because she's not, I guess she's a heroine, but in her own right. But I love the fact that we can have this revenge film and not have it that she's violated or raped.
Yeah.
And exactly. So, you know, most of these films with women who have to go on a revenge spree, it's because they've been violated in some way, most of the time raped and, you know, whatever, you know, that's why we have an entire genre of rape for revenge, right? And so I just think it's such a beautiful thing to have a film that we can actually have this, or have a woman be strong and go after the things that she wants because she's lost everything, and it doesn't have to be because she was sexually violated. Like, we can have these films without style. That.
It's very Batman or like Spider-Man, where like her parents were, I mean, her father was killed, kind of like more like a Spider-Man with Uncle Ben, or with,
But see, these are all men, and she is.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. It's kind of cool because you rarely see a woman in that situation, even in comic books. They don't usually kill off their parents, or they're not like a mass murder. It's more like you said, it would be something more horrific, body wise, or something like taking over that. So it's kind of cool in that sense, that has like kind of like a reverse role playing of from female to male, or male.
Because we don't have to be raped just to want to kill somebody. Like, I want to, like, if you touch my fucking dog, I'd fucking like gouge your goddamn eyes out. Like, I would. I was so angry watching that part.
Yeah.
I was like, Becky, sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. It's funny because when you were like, I guess she's the heroine, in my head I was like, well, actually she's the Avenger. And then I was like, oh, that's funny. She sounds like the Avengers. And then you were like, she's like a superhero. And I was like, okay. Because she really isn't like a hero. She's not standing up for anything. But once the closest person to her at this moment, which isn't even family or a friend, it's the woman she lives with, and they have almost like a mutual understanding that like they just leave each other alone once, and they seem to like have breakfast together, and then outside of that it's like, cool, you have your space, I have mine. But she sees someone else get murdered in front of her, someone that didn't deserve it. And so like the superhero would be, I mean, the heroine would be, she stopped it, but she didn't. So the Avenger is, well, now she's gonna go fuck you up.
Yeah, I get that 100%, because it's a past tense thing. It's like a pre-action, or like afterwards. Like, so I get that. It's kind of like a well, again, bringing in the superhero ideal, it would be like Punisher, but instead she's not really looking for it. You know what I mean? She tries to come get.
Yeah, because even whenever because they come looking for her because ultimately she disrespects them because they're tools.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll backtrack a little bit. So basically, the film is kind of the background thing going on is that there's an entire insurrection going on, or being planned by these, quote, they're not Proud Boys, they're called the something.
No, they're something
what
men.
do they call it?
It's something man. Something man.
Yeah, noble men. They're called noble men. But we know that they're basically Proud Boys, and they're planning an insurrection. And they go to the diner where Becky works, and right off the bat they're being disgusting. One of them's talking about fucking her mom. The other one's got very vulgar, and he's yelling at her because he wants coffee and all this bullshit. And so Becky gets pissed off because the guy is heinously vicious towards her. He's so fucking rude to her. Again, she's not really paying attention. I guess she could have served them quicker, who knows. But they're just sexualizing her. There's one in the group who seems very standoffish, like he doesn't agree with anything the other two are doing. But he's complacent. So I think he's representative of the people who stand by and watch these things happen.
Who don't vote.
And don't vote. Yeah. And these are, have no opinion on anything. That's who he is, because he's allowing these things to happen. And so he, the guy being a prick, who, yes, he's very attractive. I will agree with you there, Mikey. But oh my God, me attracted to a toxic person, go figure.
Just keep it in the bedroom, don't treat strangers that way.
Yeah, Michael Cera as Anthony.
Yeah, Michael Cera.
If it was Michael Cera, I would have kicked his ass right then and there. Are you fucking serious?
I would love to see him as a Skinner.
Alan.
Alan.
Oh, poor Alan.
Poor Alan. Bless his heart. But yeah, so he's talking all this shit, and he's calling her a bitch. Like, he's calling her a fucking bitch, and he's saying, he's calling her a cunt, everything, that and the third. So she spills hot coffee in his lap, and then it's that's that. She goes home later, but they sit in the truck and they wait for her to go home so they can follow her. Basically, in the middle of the night, they break into the home, they beat Diego, and then they shoot Denise. I'm sorry, they shoot Elena in the head with she comes down to defend her with a shotgun. But of course, Anthony, being the fuckhead that he is, has a hidden gun, and he shoots her in the head. Yeah. And so Becky goes to retaliate, because she just fucking like flies off the handle. As I was visibly getting enraged in that scene. I wanted to do the same thing that she did, but she gets knocked unconscious. She's not raped. I'm surprised. But she wakes
Yeah, I'm
up.
surprised they didn't like do extra. I mean, at that point, if they were so worried about her maybe like identifying them, because obviously she saw them the day before, so she knew who the fuck they were. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
let me this straight. You took the dog, but you didn't kill the one person who could actually put you in prison for murder.
I think they were a tiny bit, very tiny bit conscious of the fact that she is a kid.
Yeah.
Because she's 16, everybody. Like, you know.
Yeah.
And I even some of the guys are like, she's just a kid, you know, like whatever. Because none of them were expecting to go actually do things to her in the party except for the head guy, the hot one, whatever his name is.
Anthony.
Yeah. So I think that's why there wasn't any type of sexual assault, and also maybe why they thought no one's going to believe this kid, or she's not going to be able to do anything because we were going to scare the shit out of her. That's just my assertion.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, at least I was gonna say, at least put like blood on her, so at least it looks like she's the one that murdered the lady. You know, it's like
maybe they thought she was dead. Like,
it's just a movie, Lance.
They could have thought she was dead too, because he did hit her pretty hard. So maybe they panicked, they grabbed the dog and just left. So basically they steal the fucking dog, and that's my thing.
This is where she's crossed.
I can't believe like you're gonna steal the dog and expect, you know, no one to like do nothing about this. Are you fucking serious? And so you know, Becky somehow with her detective skills, she finds the couple of Daryls that she hears about. And they were talking. Two of them. The one is an old lady on an oxygen tank, bless her heart, smoking a cigarette, by the way.
That was a great part though, when she's like, keep it our secret.
She's like, should you be doing that? Smoking a cigarette with the tank right there. Can't that catch on fire? I don't even know.
You can literally die from that.
Oh well.
Bypasses the whole reason of having the oxygen tank.
But so Jill, and she's played by Jill Larson, and what is her name? She is Deborah Logan, isn't she?
Oh,
Mikey?
is she?
Yeah, Taking of Deborah Logan.
Oh,
Isn't
that's
that
cool.
her? It looks like her.
So.
I don't know. Yeah, it is. It's her. It's Deborah Logan from The Taking of Deborah Logan. So she is in this film. Because when I saw her, I was like, oh my God, it's what's her face? Like, she looks younger in this movie than she did in the one.
That's why I didn't recognize her at first.
I guess she was playing an older woman. And because Taking of Deborah Logan is an old fucking movie. How old is that movie?
It's not that old. It's maybe like 4 years old, I want to say.
No, it's 2014, Mikey. Almost 10 years ago that movie came out.
Excuse me, I haven't been sober for most of that.
That's true.
So how do you even know?
Well, you know what? That's why I had to Wikipedia it, and now Wikipedia is asking me for $3, so I've got to close this page.
I'm like, go on.
Anyway, so neither here nor there. She realizes, okay, this can't be the Daryl I'm looking for, so let me go to the place. And lo and behold, she finds the guys. And she does some amazing. Courtney Gaines, by the way, who everyone knows as, you know, Outlander, Malachi from Children of the Corn. Mikey hates that movie, but he's the little shitty redheaded skinny kid who cuts Linda Hamilton's face open. He's old now, but he's in this movie.
Is he the one with the son?
Yeah, and what is the son's name again?
Adolf.
That was the best part. Like, as soon as he said it, he was like, shit.
Yeah.
Like, he just was gonna die. Yeah. At that point, just go,
Alfred. Yeah.
I know, like, why don't you just lie, you fucking idiot? Anyways, and you know, I don't think she was gonna let him live either. I just think she was playing with him there.
Well, remember we talked about like how brutal she was in the first one, and what she did with the guy who actually let her go.
Yeah.
She's not here to play nice.
No,
so I don't think she would have let him live either.
No, she would have killed him still. So I'm not worried about it. But I just thought that was a funny.
Well, I think it hit more home for her in the sense that she didn't want to be the person to take a father away from a child, seeing how that's what happened to her, and for her to be the hands that do that to somebody else's childhood.
Yeah.
And then she realized your child would be better without you.
Because you're
Obviously,
just
you're not
raising another little
trustworthy.
racist. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It's like,
and that's the one thing, like whenever you see these Proud Boys or like, these Trump supporters like hailing in the streets with their kids, it's like, oh God, you're
Ugh.
raising more pieces of shit just like you. Yay.
yeah, and you're
But
taking children
anyways,
from other people, so like that seems right.
Yeah.
it whatever. So she goes and she kills them one by one, but she does it in such a fantastically beautiful way, right?
Mm.
Everything, like there's not that many men in the house, but for everything that she does with all of the people, I think is well worth. And it's only 82 minutes, everybody. So if you can get through Becky part 1, and that's very short too,
Is it
watch The
ironic
Wrath of
that
Becky.
again she only has 4 people to try to kill?
Oh yeah, I guess so. Okay.
Same number of dudes that she has to take out.
Well, I mean, technically, there's another one.
Yeah, but I don't want to spoil her this moment.
No, you say spoiler after.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
Spoil it. That's how we run things here.
Oh my God.
There's
Oh
one
my God.
gripe I had with the movie, and it happens around this part.
Okay.
And I can't get past it. I hope they make a third one and make up for this. But why the fuck is Homegirl showing up in a bright ass orange jumpsuit to hide from I was
the whole time I'm like, what the fuck? You're not even camouflage worthy here.
No,
Like,
it wasn't even orange camouflage. Like
No.
it was just she's a light bulb in the woods.
yeah, like, hey, listen, Hot Topic. What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Like, yeah, I'm all down for like, let's dress up badass and kick some ass with our 90s sunglasses. But like,
Becky
how many
was
years were you
inspired-
training?
She was inspired by Barbie. Okay. So
Barbie
that was
doesn't
all
wear orange.
that was all she had on hand, Mikey.
Well, either way, I was
She's
like, okay, I
homeless.
guess she doesn't care if they see her or not.
And the funny part about that is the best part is you said that's the one gripe. I'm like, wait, I still don't understand what's up with this key.
Well, that's what the third
the
movie's
key.
going to help you out for.
Yeah. You mean, National Treasure version of this movie?
I'm down to go on this adventure with wherever this movie wants to take me.
So am I, though.
Spoiler alert.
What was the thing? So when Sean William Scott opens it up, I was like, but I hadn't seen the first Becky. Does that happen in part 1? Did they discover that in part 1?
No, that's literally discovery right there and then.
So I'm like, how many years this bitch had this key and she never finds? She's always looking at it and she didn't know that it opened up. Like nobody knew.
2 seconds, he's like, shlink. So it looks like it.
But it obviously is going to have to do something with some like underground movement of,
Oh, it's gonna be like a Indiana Jones worth of Nazis somehow.
Well, after the last one, she's probably going to take over Indiana Jones. It's going to be Becky Jones.
I wanted to correlate with what's that movie where the Nazis are on the moon, like Iron Eagle?
Oh, Iron Sky.
Is it Iron Sky?
Yes. Anyway, with the T-Rex.
Do we even know if this is the correct title or the two of you just spouting out crap?
It's Iron Sky.
It's a little column A, a little column B.
Yeah. It's another one of the 1 + 1 eventually equals 2.
Yeah. Everyone had a couple drinks. We're fine. Okay. I don't know. Okay, so like I think that the whole film itself though is a lot more satisfying than part 1.
Yeah. It is because essentially in part 1, like her dad's still dead.
Yeah.
Like she's still gonna be fucked up. In this one, I've had time to heal from that.
Yeah.
Because my Johnny Cage, I don't care who they're casting in Mortal Kombat, but he will be my Johnny Cage. I was so upset when he died. And so
Joe McHale?
Yeah, well, because he voices Johnny Cage in the
cartoon series, yeah.
In the cartoon he does, and I was really hoping for this second movie that they were going to just bring him on because he's worked out a ton already. He's funny. He's basically Johnny Cage in real life. But no, they're getting, is it the guy from The Boys who is more like Kano to play Johnny Cage?
Wait, which one from The Boys?
Not
the French guy, right?
No, the one that looks like Kano. The main anti-hero in The Boys.
Chase Crawford?
No.
Chase Crawford's adorable.
Wait, he's actually on The Boys?
Yes, the only one with the accent that's not Frenchy.
Oh, but he's not cute.
You're talking about Keith something or not Keith.
The old guy?
Yeah, he's in a shit ton of movies.
No.
Keith Urban.
Keith Urban, yeah.
Keith Urban.
Yeah.
No, that's
Urban. Keith Urban is
Carl Urban. Sorry, Carl
Oh
Urban.
my God, you asshole. I'm like, Keith Urban's a country singer.
This episode's going to be 3 hours long because we can't get it together.
Clearly. Oh my God. And Mikey wasn't even
hilarious.
drinking. Oh, Carl Urban's cute. Okay.
No, but he is
fine.
not Johnny Cage.
No, he's not Johnny Cage. He's
Kano.
too
But
dark.
They already had Kano.
You would
like
have to, he has
Kano.
to shave for that. He looked good. He looked good in what is it, the Pitch Black sequel.
Riddick.
Yeah, Riddick.
Dick.
I liked him as Dredd. I thought Judge Dredd. I thought Lena Headey was really good in that reboot. Nobody liked that one though.
I like that one.
I only know him from The Boys. He's hot, but I just see Johnny K as Joe McHale.
Joe McHale. Well, I guess we'll find out. My Johnny Cage is from what's his name from Melrose Place from the first Mortal Kombat.
Jason.
So there you go.
Nice.
Yeah. If you guys are looking for facts, don't listen to Slasher's podcast.
The only thing that compares Slasher's podcast to the Proud Boys is fake news. But I will
troll
say,
the shit out of you.
Yeah, I will say in regards to actors, can we just throw some sugar on Lulu Wilson? Like she has been in the horror industry since she was a wee lass, starting with Deliver Us from Evil in 2014.
With that sexy guy from Florida Man, by the way.
Yeah. But like also she saved the Ouija series because she was in the second one that was way better. And then she was in The Haunting of Hill House. And I think there's one more besides Becky that she was in that was actually like, I don't remember. But honestly, Annabelle. She also saved Annabelle because she was in the good version, the Annabelle creation. But when I first saw her in the earlier movies, I was like, she's kind of ugly. And so she's
Mikey goes with a compliment first, then he goes, let me drop you down several pegs.
That's what teachers do. By the way, so and so, Daquan is just adorable, like he's a joy to have in class, but
he ugly.
He did throw the desk across the room at
She was
I just wanted to give you a call.
She was a very strange looking child, but like now that she's turned into a young little woman, I couldn't even tell that this was her in the beginning. I was like, let me make sure this is the same actress. But no, she's really cute now. And so I'm really glad that she's sticking with the genre. Well, not because she's not ugly anymore, but just because it's what she came from.
She's like, thank God.
Oh my God, Mikey, this is a child. I want to praise her, not for her looks, because I'm not a man, but I want to praise her.
What else are women here for?
That's true. I also want to praise her though, because she did work very closely with the new writer directors to like make sure that Becky stayed consistent, her character. So I think that's really important. Yeah, because she obviously played the first one, and I don't feel like Becky has changed much. I feel like she sort of embraced her carnality in this one, and she's like 1,000 times. And I love the imaginary parts where she's imagining what she's doing to them. Yeah. Like I think that's such a beautiful touch with that, and it feels right. I don't know.
I feel like that you knew that was gonna be a setup for like when the actually does a real thing. You know what I mean? Because like it was even cool because when they played off the coffee scene, where you're like, like. No, this time I actually did this one.
Yeah. It was. I liked how we were in, because we weren't in her internal monologues in the first one, right?
No, not at all.
Yeah. No. So in this one we are, and I kind of like that because, she is changing, but not to be a better person. She's just using her evil for good now.
Yeah, I mean, and she, so she finds the thumb drive with the all of the names and email addresses and contact information of all of the quote noblemen / proud boys, and so so she's basically wanting to go around the country now because they're like the largest internal terror, the what do they call them? They're terrorists, but
Domestic terrorism.
domestic terrorism. Yeah. And so I think that's great because I think, obviously this is true. This is actually happening. And this, we can laugh about it. And I'm sure that the head guy isn't Sean William Scott. Maybe he is. I don't know. But, or looks like him, I should say. But I just think it's I think it's hilarious when Sean William Scott, and that was one thing I wanted to talk about, when he does that whole soliloquy about how he kills the guy by crushing his head to save the rest of his squad or whatever.
Like using the military moment to explain why he does this.
But he keeps talking about Lopez, and I found that interesting because he was totally fine being backed up by someone of color, knowing that Lopez wasn't going to rat on him, right? But totally fine now being a complete racist piece of shit and trying to kill a Hispanic woman who's like, what is she, a senator? What was she?
I think they're trying to be, that was their AOC.
Yeah, they're trying to kill Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and whatever. Oh, and by the way, they filmed this over 18 days in New Jersey. Ugh.
Oh, nice.
Bless their hearts.
Garden State. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah. the state of sewer smell. Yay. But it's the Garden State. Yeah, so they filmed it there. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, it's just because this is how these people behave. They pick and choose what they consider a threat to them, right? Because obviously Lopez right now would be a threat to him because he's he's Hispanic and he's not white and he's probably not going to vote for whatever. And that woman was Hispanic, but Lopez was fine for shutting his fucking mouth and letting him, and then he crushed somebody's skull, and then he started doing it to Diego, and I was like, oh no.
Oh, I know. I was like, stop it. I didn't know he was gonna make it towards the internet.
Yeah, I didn't think Diego was gonna make it, and I got so fucking pissed when she left him in the crate. Because I'm like, why would you leave him in the crate? Because Sean William Scott is running amok now, and anybody could just thank you.
I thought of that too.
I hate both of
you. But no, I mean, my favorite part is though, if you think about that though, Diego would have never left her. If it was role reverse, that's all she would have to shoo him away to be like, I don't feel right about this. But then every chance she gets, she's like, I'll be back. He's like, what the fuck?
Well, yeah. And that was another plot hole too, because when Diego was sitting between them, she could have said attack, and that dog could have easily first of all, could have taken out Sean William Scott, and then go and took that old Vieja in her fucking last leg in her little oxygen tank. Like, fuck her, right?
Oh man, that was a great part, by the way, at the end where she stands up and you think she's with a knife in hand, head. Spoiler.
Oh yeah.
You did it correctly.
Yeah, and then she goes with a gun, and you're thinking, oh man, she's gonna fucking shoot her.
Yeah.
She's not even facing the right direction.
Her brain's been scrambled.
Yeah.
Bless her
I was
heart.
like, that's amazing. I was like, I wanted to be like this, to whoever wrote that. I'm like going, all right, dude, you get a little standio for that one.
Yeah.
It was a message to the young viewers not to smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Look what happens.
That was the end result of what you came from that. Nice.
Yes. Don't smoke.
You get a knife in your head.
When a knife comes in your head and you don't die, you'll be, discombobulated.
I love when she shot too. Oh, go on. Sorry.
All I have to say is the way.
All you have to say?
Yes.
You've got a lot to say tonight.
Excuse me.
Whoa, there it goes.
Excuse me. The
Excuse
way
me,
I would
Vice
have used my body to get out of this situation.
Go on.
With these men.
Oh.
They're obviously alone. They're obvly
Lance got
desperate
too
for some
excited
attention.
when you said that.
Oh, I know. He's figuring out how easy I am. I would have been like,
just gonna put Mike in a situation.
Yeah.
Boom.
What does Ursula say? Something, body language. Yeah. The way I would have slept my way out of this cabin, and I didn't have to kill anybody. It's like, by the way, I have a flash drive and I'm walking like a duck because, but I would just waddle all the way to the police station. Be like, look what I have. I took one for America. I took 6 for America, guys. Just give me some
Brilliant.
prep and let's go.
What about Diego?
Oh, he would have been there too. I was like, I'm not sleeping with a dog. But then I realized what you meant.
Oh my God. All right.
Mikey's like, not everything. I won't do anything.
And
Jeez,
with
eh?
that, and with that, I didn't mean it like that, you boob. Oh my God.
Well, you're just a pervert. I didn't know how you mean things these days.
Ah,
So how
Absolutely.
much money did the movie make? Anyways, do we know?
a
7
whopping
million.
$180,000.
Oh, well, that's because it didn't go to theaters.
How much was it? Do you know?
I couldn't find what they spent on it, but it was very cheap. So
So you
I
think
don't,
they're gonna make a 3 though?
oh yeah, but they
It's
got Katie
obviously-
Siegel.
Yeah. If they get Kate Siegel on board, they're probably going to be able to get some financing behind it. Hell, maybe even her husband will make the movie for them.
Maybe Mike Flanagan will
Oh,
step
sure.
in and make it a noir type suspense mystery, make me
Yeah.
fall asleep kind of bullshit. Yay,
Yeah.
I can't wait for
Mike, Mike, I know you're a listener. I
that.
would
Mike
really
Flanagan, friend of the show.
yeah. Please take. I mean, the first 2 directors and creators did great, but I think we need your expertise to really finalize this trilogy.
Mm.
And I don't want to say I don't like. I do like Mike. I do love. What was that pre-show where he's the vampire?
Mass.
That
I
one's
mean, mass suicide. Midnight
good.
Mass.
Midnight Mass. I love.
Lance's
yes.
Lance's hat threw me off. Midnight Mass is great.
Why does
Hush
your
is great.
Grim always say something? It's like you can't even
I
look at him because
know.
you're just reading his hat.
You're so distracting. But no, Midnight Mass is great. Hush is great. Love Hush.
Mm.
I
Oh
like.
my God,
Mike Flanagan.
Hush is the best. Honestly, I don't know why we haven't done it yet because it is literally my
Have you
favorite
not?
fucking movie.
No,
No,
we're
because
gonna have to do it for a
I'm on a
disability
show
month.
full of men, so I don't get my say.
I love Mikey just throws him in there.
What the hell was
Sorry.
that? Why did I see a skeleton? What was going on?
Lance.
Oh,
Are
what
you with us, Lance?
He messed something
Yes.
up. He's so confused.
Oh,
Like, what happened?
Grandpa pushed the wrong button, guys.
I mean, it happens.
Someone call the Geek Squad.
Is that still a thing?
Yes.
Oh,
I'm dying.
I'm
Oh
sorry
my
out there,
God.
whoever still does that as a job.
I cannot. I hate all of you. Anyway. So Mikey, part 1 or part 2, would you prefer?
Oh, part 2. Part 2 gives me that like good for her feeling. Part 1, it's more. I feel it's more of a thriller and more of like, oh, I don't really feel so good after watching that. It's a good movie, but this one I just have a better feeling leaving out of it. I was like, cool.
Yeah.
She did what she needed to do, and now she's gonna save America.
Yeah. And very more comedic too, like so than the first one, obviously.
Yeah. And she gets to work with the naturally aged version of Angelina Jolie.
Oh my God. Kate Siegel is beautiful. I love
She
her.
is. I always say this is what Angelina Jolie would look like if she didn't
She didn't fuck up her life.
allegedly have plastic surgery.
Whatever. She's a cunt. I'm still not over Brad and Jennifer, so whatever.
Oh, fuck Jen
Ew.
Aniston.
Oh,
I'm
she's
sorry.
my hero.
Oh, she doesn't even like horror, and she disowned Leprechaun. So you can go ahead and go sit with her in the Friends table.
Oh, that was her first film, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Shame.
Anyways. So Lance, what do you think? Is part 1 or part 2 your jam? Your
I
suicidal
like-
jam?
I mean, I honestly like the equally for different reasons, kind of deal. Obviously, you can tell they literally leaps and bound for the second one.
Mikey!
So-
I'm sorry. It's just I don't
Mikey,
do this.
let the man speak.
It's so politically correct. Choose a side, Lance. My goodness.
Okay, fine. I like the second one better because it was done better and film wise, and fucking the fact that I think that obviously you can tell they robbed from different genres of movies in this ideal. So I like more of the stuff they robbed for this movie comparatively to the first one.
Oh, like
It's all Die Hard. It's like it's all Die Hard with a child in it. She went from like the walkie-talkies in the first one to the phone in the second one. So it was basically Die Hard 1 and Die Hard 2.
This should just be an advertisement for the Girl Scouts.
Yeah, she definitely knows how to tie a knot, and Boy Scouts suck, obviously.
Boy Scouts are still trying to figure out how to kick trans people out. Girl Scouts are actually doing stuff.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, like teaching Becky how to get out of her restraint. So good for her.
Yeah.
So
You're so cocky about that knot too.
What about you, Ade? 1 or 2?
I enjoyed obviously part 2 a little more, only because Diego doesn't die.
Whoop whoop.
And I feel
My
like
dog.
Sean William Scott does a better job playing the villain than I think Kevin James does. And this one just felt a little bit more, it just had more of a again, a more upbeat. I was happier watching it. I was very upset at the beginning. I almost didn't, when they hit the dog, I almost shut it off. I was so mad. I'm like, I can't watch any more of this. But I
wasn't sure if he was alive after that.
The way the dog sounded, honestly, like you would kind of thought, like it definitely sounded like, oh, Diego's gone.
Yeah.
I know. And I was like, like you took her semi quasi guardian away. Now you're killing Diego. Like I can't. There's only so much I can take.
Maybe the guardian was a affirmation of the other dog. So instead of killing another dog, they just killed another person.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. It's like I get that there is obviously wrath still within her, right? So good for her. It was more realistic in my opinion, and the gore and the practical effects. The head exploding was amazing. The bear traps, and it's not a long movie, folks. So if you haven't seen it yet, like it happens, everything happens right away, and then it's over. So
it's ADD efficient.
Yeah, there is no like playing around, dragging it on, heartfelt goodbyes. Fuck it, like just move along.
No. So. And also, I feel like the next one's gonna be longer when she teams up with John Wick. And they both
that Nicolas Cage for National Treasure.
I was thinking Pig.
Yeah, I was gonna say Pig too.
Yeah. Well, it's because the key thing, it seems to be the last ending idea.
Where's the key go?
What's it do?
The head of the Proud Boys, the headquarters. Their life source. I don't know. And it's gonna be another. I don't know.
It's what powers them. They're all actual aliens.
And it's Dave Chappelle as the black KKK guy.
Well, it's like,
what's a Nubian?
Oh, you guys!
I cannot. Oh my god. I don't. Whatever. Anyway.
Y'all are a mess.
All right, so let's go. We're coming up at the end of the episode. I think we're I think we're done. We've beat this one to death, literally.
Like Diego.
Poor Diego. Diego's fine, everybody. So
yeah, Diego lives.
Spoiler.
Unfortunately, Diego was not the same Diego from the first one, but he does live.
Well, I don't.
Did the first Diego die?
No, I don't know. I was looking at his Diego.
I love it. Like we all got serious. We're like, oh shit.
The actor's name, Diego, was played by one Pac Williams.
Oh.
And on his IMDb, there is no Becky. It's just Wrath of Becky. So I'm assuming it's not the same.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Well, there's not a lot of information on Wrath of Becky, and for probably good reason, right? So
it went straight to streaming then, right?
Yeah, straight to streaming. It's independent, but we need to support more independent horror. I love that Kate Siegel's in it, and I love the fact. Honestly, are they in the same shot? Because I feel like it goes to Becky talking and to Kate Siegel, but do they ever show them together? Because Kate Siegel probably could have just filmed this like in her living room.
I feel like green screen. Yeah,
she never left her house.
Just like the effervescent Mia T curtains of Trash Juice. No, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I can't remember. Were they in the same shot together? I don't know, but
I did find question. It funny when she finds that last dude, when the only guy that got away. Technically, she gets him at the end. Yeah. Spoiler.
He was pretty funny. He was funny. He was a shithead, but he was funny.
So. Yeah, he was the antagonizer.
We'll give him that. All right. So now that we're coming up to the end of the episode, my Mikey Boo Boo, where can you support us monetarily?
Online.
Thank you.
I'm just kidding. You can find us on Redbubble to buy things from copy cans to dental dams at redbubble.com/slasherspod. You can find us on Instagram at Mutant Goons from Beyond or slasherspod. You can find Ade on Instagram at pathologically Ade, or you can find me on Instagram at horror and a half shell. Lance, you can also find him as Zombie versus Hate. Follow his cute little booty. Or you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/slasherspod.
Thank you. That was very good, Mikey.
I
And
know.
Lance, anything you want to plug before we go? Do you have any shows coming up?
Yeah, like Mount Rushmore.
No, actually, both bands are kind of on a hiatus right now.
Oh,
Unfortunately.
Mikey, why aren't you wearing your shirt?
Oh yeah.
I wear that shirt all the time. I think I actually wore it on one of my recordings. It's in the laundry.
Nice. Yeah. What'd you think of the CD, by the way?
I loved it. It's really short, but
Yeah, we like to kind of get you hooked on us.
Did you notice who was singing?
I know it's Lance. I recognize that screaming voice anyway.
How you doing?
All right. So, well, whatever. If you want to plug anything later, just let me know. We can add you onto the hashtags. So
Yeah.
this was fun. I think we got two more things coming up this month, and then we've got our what's coming up in September. I know
Back to school.
Back to school, yeah. Even though I'm already back to
Mm.
school, but I live in Florida, so we go back in the middle of July, where the rest of the country goes back in September. So, yay! And we're having a heat wave, and it fucking sucks. I can't.
Yeah, we are.
It's
107 today.
disgusting. It's so fucking hot. Like literally, the kids come in and they're dripping.
Yeah, it's so gross.
And they're like, it's so bad. And I go, I know. I'm like, why are you here? Just stay home. I could just sit in here by myself with my very bad AC.
Yeah, how's that
you
possible?
sucking it up. Oh yeah, no. Some of the schools didn't have AC and they had to actually go home and cancel classes. So there's that. Welcome to Florida. Anyways, so hopefully you guys are having a great summer and you're enjoying this month. If you have anything to let us know about, you can go ahead and email Mikey or drop in his DMs and tell him, what your thoughts are.
Yes,
Because
please.
Mikey needs attention and I'm tired. So
Give
with
me
that,
prayers.
your thoughts and prayers. Yes. So with
That's
that,
exactly what he wants.
oh my God.
Lance.
Oh,
That's
I'm
most
just
of
gonna
I
leave the
want.
two of you alone so you can have some moments together.
Please
My
do. We'll need
goodness.
that extra space for his video to enlarge. If you
Oh, he's got his little critter in the background can watch.
There ain't nothing little about that critter.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. And so with that, ladies, goodbye and good day.
Bye.
See you later.